Well, hello. 'Tis me, I'm back. A few weeks. I've been doing less videos recently, the last few months, purely because it's a little bit distracting out there, isn't it? But I'm going to focus a little bit more now. And I quite like this tweet by Good Drop. He's saying Loop and Bearable Guy gave the exact set of events and timelines to what you see today, all leading to the ground-shaking victory. Learn from the past and the present, and the present's yours. Continue thread. Anyway, so BG123 tells you about the lawsuit, calls the video The Shattering, then proceeds to say that Ripple is not just a company using XRP, but an earth-shattering event that brings Ragnarok to the digital assets as they line up with all banks and big players. The only earth-shattering event I can think of. And it's been touched on recently. Obviously by myself. Earlier in the year I was talking about the old cyber hackeroonie. And it's been mentioned more than once. It's been mentioned by Candace Owens, really cool American lady in politics. Not a politician, but just in that scene. I've been following her for years, and just think that she was talking about Klaus Schwab's cyber hack. And then Decode Your Reality. I don't know if you guys follow him on the Ube of the Tube. The Ube of the Tube. Let's find him, show you who we're talking about. Decode Your Reality. He does a series with Orders Above Crypto. And his latest one, Saturnalia. I'd never heard of Saturnalia. Very interesting, really cool show. They do stray away from the Saturnalia, and I didn't learn a great deal about Saturnalia, so I did my own research. And while we're thinking about it, let's just do it. Saturnalia. And basically, it's between the 17th of December and the 23rd of December. It was an ancient Roman festival, and from what I can gather, I listened to a few videos. From what I can gather, they say, some of the analysts talking about it said that there was role reversals. So the slaves would become the masters for a day or a couple of days, and the masters would become the slaves. Now, one guy kind of represented it a bit better, and he said, actually, what was more likely is that actually they leveled the playing field. And now this is my interpretation of what he said. Which really fits well with some of the narratives we've heard recently over the last 6 months. But basically, the master serves his own food rather than having the slave do it. And the slave is able to sit at the table and eat with the master during this particular festival. Now, who knows if history is, even true, as they're always depicted in images and paintings rather than, photos, obviously, photo technology. But history is a big cloudy mess anyway. But yeah, this is it, the Saturnalia between those dates. And a little bit of it was about harvesting and feasting and gift giving, public sacrifice. Yeah, that was the other one. So I found that really interesting. I'd never observed any kind of public sacrifices as far as I was aware, but then I think about it, last year, the final lockdown kind of was at Christmas, literally a couple of days before Christmas. Probably was the 23rd of December, if I think correctly, especially here in the UK. And I'd say that was a forced-on public sacrifice. And then, of course, we'll have the banquet on our own. Role reversals. I don't really think there was much of that. So much, maybe ritualistically, the big boys were doing it, but it does seem that this is relevant. So I'll be looking to see what happens in the crypto markets between these dates. Interestingly, so if we think about the Ripple lawsuit, now there is the wonderful, or not so wonderful, Marmite complete knobhead, as I would call him, Baba Gugs. I followed him for a long time. felt like for months I worshipped the ground he walked on, and then only because it's the closest thing to a translation of the riddlers as you can get, and I think he pretty much has confirmed that he is quite clearly in touch with them. There isn't any doubt of that, but I just don't like his energy. I don't like his presence on the internet, on Twitter. I don't like his narratives that he uses. He's just everything about him I don't like. But nevertheless, it is clear he is aware. And I remember quite a few things he said back in the early days when I was paying a lot more attention to him. There are two things that I noticed. It's clear that these riddles, they use all different types of calendars. You've got the Hebrew calendar, you've got the international fixed calendar. And I remember he said that. He said that they use that. And he also said it ends where it starts. So, and this was, I'm pretty sure it was in some references to the lawsuit at the time. So that to me kind of meant like the 21st, 22nd of December, 2021, literally 12 months after, on the same day. Now, but I kind of dismissed that, although, that really did fall nicely with the, if you think of the Mayan calendar. I did talk about the Mayan calendar end back in 2012. I'm not going to nasa.gov. No chance. Wikipedia, not any better, really. But we'll have a look. It was supposed to end on the 21st of December 2012. Now, to me, it's a very much of a mirror date to this year, the 21st of December 2021. Obviously, you've got Saturnalia that falls over that time. Clearly always has done. But you've got the potential for the lawsuit to end on this date as well. Because if it ends where it starts, etc., etc. You've got the 21, the 12 and the 21. So you've got the 333 that's appeared in some of the riddles. So it is a date of interest, without doubt. Without doubt. Added to that, there does seem to be a lot of energy at the minute coming up. We just had that big dump. The markets are looking horrendous. There's a lot of fear out there. There's some crazy people talking about XRP buybacks at 37,000. It's not going to happen. Just no. Whatever that is complete, utter rubbish. And I don't get that. And that would get people holding on for dear life. It really would. But I'm baffled by that particular decode. But anyway, let's get back to this one, because we've got two guys to look at who are looking at the energy coming up. And there's something interesting as well here, actually. I can't remember, because it's 2 hours and 23 minutes long, and I didn't feel like listening to it again. But Logan said, I'm pretty sure he said something about, I think it was the 24th of December, was 188 days after something else had happened. I'm sorry to not be able to quote, but I found that interesting that that's the day after Saturnalia, and that is a day that I'm going to show you that I've highlighted as well. So there really are some dates coming up of significance that these guys talk about and think about. And interestingly, these guys talked about the cyber pandemic, the cyber reset. They believe it's going to happen too. So I wasn't the only crazy one, and I'm not the only crazy one. And it's quite clear to see for the critical thinker that really is very, very likely to be something that pans out. I mean, if you watch XRPeve, he's highlighted it recently. Apparently 10 countries all participated in a cyber reset or a cyber attack on the financial institutions. Don't quote, you can quote me on that because I've seen it, but follow XRPeve, watch the last couple of his videos. If you don't know who he is, you must know who he is, because I'm a nobody. But if you don't know who he is, this is him. Really cool. He follows this narrative constantly. Oh, I've got a new one to watch. We're expecting one of those. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Anyway, moving back. So, good drop. He's noted hindsight to 2025. So he's saying that BG123 shares that Ripple is in too deep. They're not normal. They're beyond what you can imagine. They're bigger than Silicon Valley. They're bigger than a Silicon Valley startup. Basically, this is Ripple. They're in the water and they can smash it out, basically. I don't know if anybody's ever discovered these codes here. But I'd be intrigued to know if they were, what numbers they were in terms of prime numbers, in terms of the value of pi. I'd have to decode it. I'll tell you what, because what's disappointing is there aren't any super supreme decoders that actually, I mean, there's plenty on Twitter, but these guys are very, very good decoders. Waters Above doesn't even know about Mr. Paul. Like, he started hearing his voice. He started hearing his name recently, and he just thinks he's an analyst. It's really funny. He doesn't believe the XRP hype. So I really need to get a message to him to say, like, dude, like, seriously, take this Mr. Paul stuff seriously, because it's something in it. It's not a nothing. It's not a FUD. It's definitely something in it. Because interestingly, in this again, Saturnalia, Logan actually talks, and he describes Bitcoin as I think the same value as 144 and 144 in gematria terms. You'd have to watch it to understand it, but basically 144, which is, I think, the number of blocks that Bitcoin produces, or something like that. I can't remember what it is. It's linked to Bitcoin. 144 is linked to Bitcoin, and he actually calls it the devil. He links it back to the devil. And he even links the sun back to the devil. And obviously, Jordan always calls Bitcoin the sun, the Ra. So I found it really interesting, because obviously, if you've been following me for a while, and the people I follow on Twitter, the Bitcoin narrative all year long is that it's going to get dicked, going to get completely destroyed. So, Jordan really needs to, if anyone can get in touch with him and actually got, a chat with, be able to chat with him, let him know. When I was on his Discord for a little while, he pretty much dismissed it all. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe, who knows? But anyway, forgetting the images, you can come and have a look at this in your own time. But he basically says, he reminds you again that regulations are coming. He tells you that ICOs are a fraud. Brad interjects Joe Lubin. The bear sleeps well knowing the SEC is coming, but they came for Ripple to set a standard to create the shattering. Who knows what's going to happen here?
ICOs are fraud.
Like it. And then, of course, you've got, for the third time, tells you regulations are coming. Regulation molasses. It's slow, but it's coming. Molasses, I suppose, are quite thick. A little bear there. Look at that. I've never noticed that before. Price on the lid. Oh, price. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Let's just make that bigger if we can. No? It doesn't matter. Price on the lid. Open the lid. Money comes out, maybe? You open that lid of regulation and the price pours out. Yep, fair enough. It then shows the Christmas lawsuit scene in 2018, relaying the message that in 2020 it begins. When you see the gavel and you see the regulation molasses, the lesson of the 589 reset, and it takes place near Christmas, along with displaying many other messages. Yeah, the Christmas theme is strong. So obviously we had that last year. Things come in cycles. Somebody, right? I saw a black and white image, or like a photo negative image, and in these, when it's flipped back the other way, there is a 7 in each of these. Very interesting. People are also saying that the red stocking is missing, but look, there it is on his head. And the green hammer is coming down on this one here. Liquidity, that makes sense. Perhaps, I don't know if that was meant to mean, because I know this is XRP in purple. I'm pretty sure I'm not going. Don't quote me. I thought yellow was probably the US dollar, and I thought that was Bitcoin. So potentially the hammer's coming down on Bitcoin if that was the right color. And then of course, Mr. Poole, he stepped in with an exact 5-day countdown. And yeah, I hadn't seen this before. Well, I had seen these signals, but I didn't ever realize that he actually did this. So that's intriguing. 16th of December, 5 days before. Got the sands of time and the X, and yeah, look at that. I mean, he called it 5 days before. You cannot doubt that. Then they're definitely insiders. They know what's going on. And of course, Brad. The data countdown runs out. It reveals the SEC case is finally here. The 21st, as the BG123 displayed. He finds it interesting the way that Brad's vocabulary, how he words his tweets here, sounds like a war or a crossing the Rubicon, or even a play of sorts. Today, the SEC voted to attack crypto in his final act. Yeah, I see what he means by that. Very interesting. Make no mistake, we are ready to fight and win. This battle is just beginning. Interesting. Look at the emphasis on global acceptance, while the USA is the last step. When Ripple wins, it will be the shattering, the regulatory catalyst. Paul here posts an explosion. He's done loads of those recently. 5 days prior to the SEC officially filing the charges. 16, 21, and 30 equal 13. Sued for 1.3. Yeah, interesting. BG made a post straight after that. Now inside the castle, chiseling away what to be revealed. Many messages lay in this image as well, but progress is being made, and Ripple is making progress. Here's obviously Brad once again, standing on the snake. I mean, it's, I've delved into this before, but it's just way above my my skill base to understand all this. And to be honest, I haven't seen many nail it, give a incredibly convincing performance, but in relation to this. But if you know any, let me know. Fast forward also another year, and Paul likes the SEC tweet yesterday for all to see. This is on the 10th of December, so just 3 days ago. And then posts a mirrored image of the BG123 Christmas time scene. It's very likely he's saying the lawsuit is closing out this December. So he's just like that on the 10th. Interesting. So that would be 11 days, or would it be 13? 13 days. Take it to the 23rd of December. I like also that you're liking David Schwartz's posts here. 1.37 or 11 days perhaps. 11 days from the 10th would take us to 21st. There's definitely some things. I'll go through my posts in a minute, show you some of the things I've found. Definitely some interesting stuff from Paul. And then he's obviously flipped it round, a role reversal, or basically just the snake basically about to eat its ass, if you know what I mean. The snake goes round and round till it gets to the end and bites its own tail. Perhaps we are nearly there. Paul reposted an explosion again. The last time he left it up and did not delete it, and was 5 days before the case was officially filed. Is it still up? It is, Mr. Loop. He posted this a few times that day, actually. I did retweet. Boom, 3 times. That is interesting. That is interesting. Could it be like a 1 year delta? 16th, 21st, and 30th. Could this year be the 1 year delta where this occurs? What's the gap between? We've got 5 and we've got 9. 5 and 9. 5 days, 9 days, or 7, 3, 3. Interesting. I don't know entirely, but it's definitely making me want to keep an eye on the next 13 days. Paul also posted some more Christmas scenes. It all looks pretty cozy. There's a lot of red though, isn't there? A lot of red. Well, you would expect that at Christmas, but it does make you wonder if we're going to see further downs, and I am expecting some further downs before some fun. It gets even more obvious that something happens this December. The 22nd or the 23rd, when we refer back to this post as well, a 6 months best before end date on the 23rd of June 2021. That's exactly 6 months from there, would take you to a 1 year loop from when the Ripple case was filed. Very good. Very, very good. Well, nice research. And the point of this thread is to give a heads up. These two accounts have been speaking of the same set of events for XRP's inevitable appreciation. Now, I find it interesting, if we're looking at the 23rd of December, what happens the very next day? Well, we've got the solo airdrop. So I'm just going to retweet this because I hadn't done. Very, very cool. Very, very cool thread. Like it. I'm going to show you a couple of other things that seem to line up. So first of all, we're going to have a quick look at my own post from a little while ago. How do you get your post? Profile. Yeah, this one here. So, Crypto Knowledge, he posted this, and you got Paul, you got the man jumping across. It looks like one big leap, doesn't it? It sort of fits the narrative of Paul and what we're expecting XRP to do one day. So he's looked at the timestamp, 1948 equals 13, and he's looked at the date, and he thinks that equals 22, 1322. And I'll just take his, it's an interesting way of adding it up, and I'll accept that as it is. Okay, fine, 1322. So if we go back, I then say, right, okay, if we take what am I looking at? Where do I get the 3, 5, 8, 5, and 3? Oh yeah, on the date, the 8. So you're adding the date up. You got the 8, 5, and 3. Backwards, you got 3, 5, 8, and we know these guys like to work backwards, sideways, upside down. You know what? Backwards it makes it the 24th of December 2021. Interesting already, because that makes it very, very close to these dates that we're looking at. Very close indeed. And then if you look at my dual calendar that I designed, and the reason I designed this was because of Baba Kugs, and he definitely, absolutely, 100% mentioned the International Fixed Calendar once upon a time in a few of his decodes, or riddles, whoever the hell he is. So I looked it up, did the research, and figured out, okay, how does this work? What is the International Fixed? And here it is. Every day in an international fixed calendar represents 28 days. And this is, so apparently what our calendar should be is 13 months of every month equaling 28 days. And apparently this was hidden from history or something on those lines, and that's why there's this new sign of the zodiac, the 13th sign of the zodiac's been coming out, Orpheus or something like that, Orpheus. So who knows whether this 13th month will ever appear, whether we'll get a great reset and they'll just change everything. They'll change the calendars, change the monetary system. I don't know. But anyway, comparing that to the Gregorian calendar, we have thus. If we go down to the 13th month, okay, so 13th month is called December. The 7th month is called Sol. I just want to show you. It's actually called Sol. After June, Sol comes in the middle, and then you got July. So July comes the eighth month, and so forth. Now I know there is another calendar, the Julian calendar, perhaps even. Perhaps it's that, perhaps it's not. One of them, where actually September is the seventh month rather than the 9th month traditionally. But anyway, I'm not talking about that. We're talking about the international fixed. So the international fixed calendar, where, let's find it, the 22nd of the 13th month is the 24th of December. 22nd, the 2213 is the 24th of December. So that's twice we're getting the 24th of December from 1322. Not only that, but this instantly, I was looking at this picture and think, geez, that looks like one of the Greek alphabet. And there it is, the omega. It is. It literally looks like omega, which is the 24th letter in the Greek alphabet. So to me, this pool decode pretty much, if it's not 100% 24th, referring to the 24th of something, and if it's got double meanings, then fair enough. But it really does seem like this decode is the 24th. Is it the 24th? Excuse me. Of December? Maybe. One giant leap. Or is this someone jumping solo across a cliff? Could it be just as simple as an early message for people to get involved in solo? I don't know the solo logo. Let me look for the solo logo, Sologenic logo. Let's see it. It's kind of like an 8, but a backward S. Okay. Doesn't really help. So anyway, whether this has got to do with the sologenic drop, who knows? Because that is happening that day. But my point being, if you'd have swapped your XRP for solo at this particular point, I don't even know if it existed at that point, but at some point thereafter, you'd have 10x'd your XRP by now if you sold it now. You'd have 10x'd your XRP. So it does make me wonder if these guys have been giving us clues all along about how to maximize our profits, about getting into other assets. They certainly did with Solana, Sol, the month of Sol. They were using that all the time. They certainly did. What else was there? My mind's gone blank, but there were very obvious, very, very obvious tips, of which I took none of them. Too busy, and I didn't see anybody else noticing either. Everybody was too consumed with moon dates, as was I. But I'm not anymore, so I'm really chilled out for the next 13 days. I'm feeling more gloomy and doomy, if anything. I feel like there's going to be more downturn, so I'm not feeling overly confident about the next 13 days. Anyway, but yeah, so that's my decode of that image. If we are going to get a giant leap, then the 24th, maybe the 24th of the whatever month, who knows what it means, but it could be relevant. So there you go. I want to add, obviously, we'll look at David Schwartz in a minute, but we'll quickly touch on Dwight Snoop, because although Dwight was very much like me, we were both very, very heavy on the September decodes for the reset. That's because there were tons of messages. Tons. There were so many. I will say, those September messages that we all talked about, if I go back to here, my channel, when I did, let's have a look at the videos. Let's go down. The reset 3 months ago. Did this around about September. They could have been like a 1 year delta. There were so many cyber reset messages last September. September the 1st, specifically. There could have been. All of these messages, like the cold storage, it could all have been for next September 22, which is still within Shemitah. So I will be bearing that in mind if absolutely sod all happens in the next 9 months. But I will add, I'll give Dwight some credit here because, he's persisted in his decoding, and he believes 10th to the 11th. Well, we've gone past that already. Twitter account locked. 5. 13th to 14th reset. Well, we're just about on the 13th now. 24th finished. It's been an honour. He was this confident last time in September, and it didn't pan out. My feelings are this doesn't pan out because even though these days are lots of day energy, and I've just highlighted the 24th myself, I'm just not feeling it. I'm feeling a 2022 reset. I'm not feeling a 2021 reset at all. I'm feeling February into maybe March. I like the idea of decode your reality. He said the Spanish flu lasted 20. I think he said 22 months, but I think he meant 26. It lasted 26 months between February 1918 and April 1920. 26 months for us from March the 11th would be around about Friday the 13th of May, which is the only Friday the 13th next year, coincidentally. So if something were going to reset, it would be between February and September next year is my feelings. And I was kind of expecting an event to occur. And it was really interesting. I don't know if any of you follow Blockchain Backer. I can't find his videos at the minute. I'm not going to look for the video. I'll show you who he is if you don't know who he is. He's definitely in the club. 100% in the club. I'm not going to go into why. But you should follow him to get an idea. But he's done this twice to me before the dump, most recently on the 4th of December, 3rd of December. He got us into this feeling of alt season's about to come. Alt season's about to come. And it was deceptive. And he did this again. He did this previously in the summer. And we were ready for alt season. We had us all up, all ready. And boom. Then it dumps. So I'm not saying he's not good at his job, because he is an incredible analyst in terms of what he believes is going to happen and how it happens, but there is some deception there. So I will be pointing out the next time he's making me feel euphoric, like alt season's about to hit round the corner. That will make me wary. But perhaps that was the final shakeout. But I think there's more to come. He never posted the weekend, so he's got some videos coming this week. But basically, he's said twice now. And the reason I follow him with vigor is because he obviously can't tell us when a dump is coming, because that would be against the club code. But he does tell us if you're listening carefully. And he did tell us, and I wasn't confident enough to listen to his signs, but I would be from now on. But also, he's mentioned twice now about a Black Swan event, an event that occurs that does something to the market in a bad way, basically. He has mentioned this. So I've got the feeling February's important. Especially the 22nd of February. I think it's 77 years since Bretton Woods, which is the gold standard. I think there's a lot going to happen in 2022. But again, when he says the event, so he's also, this is like, even if you don't think he's in the club, he has, if he comes across as just a normal analyst, he has said something strange in that he believes, whatever it is the universe calling, whatever it is, he believes an event will occur to shift the market into collapse when certain stocks and crypto hit a certain range. So he's confirming basically that story. Basically, there will be an event, and I think that event will occur perfectly for CV to disappear or to be forgotten, for all the stocks to crash and burn, and then for the reset to happen. Everything will go at once, and that's why a cyber hack is pretty much the most devastating thing that will make everybody forget that CV ever existed. Crypto will crash, stocks will crash, everything will crash. Hopefully, XRP will rise out of the ashes, as we've been hoping. But there are no guarantees in any of this. So box clever. A lot of people have been saying buy physical gold and silver, so if you can. It's still cheap, still a good price. How on earth that's going to help us? I can only imagine that would help us in a completely barren world where there's no power at all, no internet at all. But that would be insane. But nevertheless, it's worth getting some just in case. For the way the world's going at the minute, I really don't understand. But anyway, yeah, have a look at Dwight's posts. He may be onto something. He may not. We shall see. It could be a year. It could be a year early. Who knows? Yeah, I'll let you guys have a look through there. I don't entirely. Yeah, it's too small to see here, and I can't zoom in very well on this computer. But yeah, for whatever reason, he thinks it's another person basically thinking 24th of December something happens. So we shall see. And finally, David Schwartz. He has been penguin galore, sending penguins galore. Finally, penguins. His final post about penguins the other day. Let's see if we can find them. So, oh, wow, I didn't see this one. This ship is amazing. We just cut into the ice, stopped, and put down the boarding stairs. 8th of December, 11:11, UTC. That's poignant. That's deliberate. 99% of the responses in this thread. X. Where's that? Where's he looking? Oh, there. Yeah, I see it. That's hilarious. X through the ice, maybe? Laughing my arse off. That's King Solomon responding. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people have been comparing these images to the bearable guy. Pretty obvious at this point. We're almost there. I must admit, the bearable guy boat image, and I'm sure it'll be in this. It'll be in these replies somewhere along the way. Maybe not. What's that? +1. What do they think that is? I don't know. It's a stick. X marks the spot in the ice. Kind of cold. Again, cold. It's kind of dug into the ice. And is that another cold storage message? Or is it just like X marks the spot? Interesting. The fact that the boat is, cutting through the ice and we're going downstairs. Could that be another? And the X is in the ice. Right in the ice. Could it mean that XRP is going to hit rock bottom? Could be. A lot of people do think it's going to happen. There we go. Here's the ice. You've seen it all before. The bear with his goggles is looking at the emperor penguin. Except it's not a penguin. You've got the ledgers are in the water. You've got the invisible ledgers. Invisible ledgers? Empty ledgers? Dead ledgers? Left behind in the storm. Why they're in the water though? Pool in liquidity, ledgers of liquidity. The sun is shining. Brad Garlinghouse is saying onward. Little owl on the end. Don't know what that red thing is. What is that red thing? It's like a little grabber. The 8 stick. The stick with the 8 on it's broken. Yeah, they're all looking that way. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, what's that ship called? Perseverance. Perseverance, yeah. Yep. He has been, he's literally talking about penguins non-stop. No penguins. Like, he's literally, not forgetting, he's in capitals. So I feel like he's shouting at us, like saying, listen to me. 713. 713 makes 20. On the 8th of December. Again, that makes 20. So could this be the 20th? I don't know. It's hard to know what he's trying to tell us, because I haven't seen anybody really decode his message. But again, Emperor penguins. Lots of them. He's done loads. I didn't realise there was just this many penguins. A quick scan around. I'm sure people have had a look at this message. But yeah, we've got a few standing up there. The rest are down. Emperor penguins. I think we get the idea, man. Next stop. That was a joke. That was a joke. Yeah, there were a lot of people. There were 3 sunsets. You had the helicopter on the helipad, which is H is 8, the 88, cutting through ice. Bit of blood on the streets, so to speak. Only 2 penguins. XRP and XLM, maybe. Lots of little penguins, all isolated, all on ice. They're all isolated. Stormy ride. Look, yeah, it's going to be a rough ride here. This is the day of the crash. It already happened, and he replied, it's going to be a rough day. 10:50, 15 perhaps. 12 and 4, 16. Interesting. I think the overarching, again, it looks about 2 suns. Got 2 suns, 2 penguins, 2 H's, 3 sunsets. And then finally, the stuffed penguins thing. Oh, you've got this. I don't know what that was. Somebody said snake skin. Looks a bit like snake skin. Yeah, maybe. It looks a bit like rope, obviously. Brandon. Yep, I posted snakes. Bunch of eyes. Weird. As you can see, eyes in there. I don't know. Either way, David Schwartz has been telling us something. Stuffed penguins! 3 exclamation marks. What time? 5:23, the 28th. Hard to know. 4 stuffed penguins. What do you make of 4 stuffed penguins? Have they fed enough? They've bought the dip. Bought the dip by the 28th, maybe. I have to see. Yes, the chef does amazing things. Oh man, 3 pieces of penguin on the 30th. Eating good food on the 30th. I don't know about the timelines. I'm not the best numbers type decoder. More of an information decoder. But tonight, this was a long video. Apologies for my boring, monotone voices. But there we go. I think that's it for me for now. Check out all the things I've talked about, and let's see what the next few weeks bring us. All right? Okay. You take care. All the best to you all.